Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hello and welcome to another Thursday Live. How are you all today? I hope that you're all well and getting ready for Ramadan, which is what this live is all about today. We're going to be talking about getting ready, getting your kids ready, getting your house ready, and we're not going to do a whole series of videos this year because mashallah our channel is full of advice and tips for Ramadan. So if you would like to see some more tips and on certain things, what I'm going to talk about right now, you can see all of the videos. So look in the links below. There we've got the links to pretty much anything that I can think of that is to do with Ramadan and your parenting tribe, mashallah. So I've created a playlist from this YouTube channel. So there's a whole playlist of all of the videos that we've done, getting your spirituality in order, getting your du'as in order, getting your house in order and stuff for your kids, inshallah. So I feel like today I want to talk about fasting in particular, because we had a meeting the other day and I just was kind of made aware that some people don't find fasting easy. Now, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, tabarakallah, I hope I don't say this and then I end up struggling with fasting, but maybe because I've been doing it for so long, it's not something that I'm worried about or find difficult at all. Maybe it's because 4 of my kids were born about a month before Ramadan. Like, obviously, you know how Ramadan changes. Somehow I always end up having a newborn around Ramadan, which is a bit weird maybe, but maybe because it's for that reason. But I've never worried about it. So I just wanted to share with you, in case you are worried, in case you are overwhelmed, in case you're thinking, oh my God, I've got to do all the things, right? So first thing I want to say to you, no, you don't have to do all the things. No one has to do all the things. And to be honest with you, no one can do all the things, can they? Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. Oh, that's Iram's logo. That's not mine. It's okay. Bless her heart, she's not here today. Right, sorry about that. Just want to fix my scarf a little bit. Okay, so in terms of what are all the things that we have to do, there's only one thing that we have to do in Ramadan, which is worship Allah to the best of our abilities, right? And that's it, inshallah. I remember joining a session a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, about how to have the best Ramadan ever. And I was like, yes, that's it. I'm going to have the best Ramadan ever. And I would show up and talk about Ramadan with the coach. And I realized towards the end that actually, you know what, with all that I was doing with the children, with my work, with the effort that I had put in and the time that I did have the best Ramadan ever. I had the best Ramadan that I was supposed to have with the resources that I had in place. And that's kind of what coaching helps you do. It helps you to understand where you are and where you've got to go and how to get there. And with that coaching, I did realize that I didn't have to do everything. Walaikum salam, sis. How are you? Hope you're well, inshallah. Please add your names or just give StreamYard permission to show your names. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. I haven't got the thing to go back on Facebook because otherwise it starts echoing. So please do let me know, inshallah. And I'm really glad that you're all here today because I feel like Ramadan sometimes becomes really overwhelming for mums because there is extra cooking. Shariza, assalamu alaikum, you're right, sis. So there is extra cooking involved. There are extra tasks on our list, which, let's face it, we're all overloaded at the moment. Our boxes, our cups, our plates are all full with all the things that we're doing generally, and then we're adding an additional task to it. Plus, on top of that, you're not allowed to eat or drink. So you're going to be in a different mood than maybe you normally are. Someone like me that loves their food, yes, it's not easy to stay away from food and drink. But obviously, I was reminded yesterday by Sister Amina that, fasting is the only deed that the reward is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, right? Because everything else, you can do it for people. People know if you've prayed. People know if you read Quran. People know if you're a good person or not, like acting outwardly, right? But no one knows if you fasted or not, because that one is quite easy to go in secret and go and eat, right? So fasting, the reward is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's what we have to focus on. This month is about fasting, sacrificing, and worshipping Allah, inshallah. What are we going to sacrifice, right? We're going to sacrifice maybe some time. We're definitely going to sacrifice some sleep. We're going to sacrifice maybe on other activities that we might want to do. We're going to increase, inshallah, our charity that we're going to give out, inshallah. So we've got lots of things that we can do. And then what happens is we go on social media and we see, oh, wow, that sister, she's done her house beautifully for Ramadan. Look at those candles and those lanterns. And then you want to go out and buy them. And then you look at the price tag, if you're like me, and go, I'm not paying that much for a lantern. No way. Walaikum salam, sisters. If you just write your name in brackets, if you don't mind today, because I can't go back to Facebook to see who you are. But please do comment, talk to me, tell me how you feel. Are you worried about Ramadan? Do you feel like you need to do all the things? Because this is what this live is about today, right? Is about setting our mindset. No worries, Sama. Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Okay. So today is all about setting our mindset to know that, first of all, and I'm just going to say it clearly and plainly, we don't have to do all the things. We just don't. Right? But we do have to do as much as we can, and we've got to strive to do the best that we can, inshallah. Exactly. You got to try, sisters, right? Okay. So we want to have some things in place that is going to make it a lot easier. That's exactly right, Aini. Perfect, right? And Aini, I can see that's your transformation from the inner tribe. It's shining out now. Last couple of weeks it's been popping out, but this is brilliant, mashallah. I'm going to show that on the screen. So this year, I will only do what I can, and I won't feel guilty. I won't feel worried. I won't feel like, oh my God, I haven't done X, Y, Z. But we are, she said she's changed this year, mashallah, right? So mashallah, we can only do what we can, and we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts it from us, because we are striving, and that's what Islam is. That's what we are doing. We are struggling in His way, and it is a struggle. It's not easy. There are a few tips that I have to kind of prepare for Ramadan. And we've got, like I said, the entire playlist. If you just go on our YouTube channel, there's the entire playlist about getting ready for Ramadan. I think it was called Roll on Ramadan, the 5-day Ramadan challenge, and the Ramadan spiritual retreat. So 3 series that we've got on there, mashallah, where you can get ready properly. All I want to do today is, Jazakallah khair, thank you, Aini. All I want to do today is let you all know that as long as you're trying, that's the best that you can do, inshallah. And you know if you're doing your best. You know if you could do more, right? You know if, for example, I remember one year that I was sleeping on the floor upstairs on a rug, because I thought if I sleep in my bed, I'm just not going to wake up for sahur, but I want to wake up and I want to be there for my kids, and I don't want my kids to fast without eating. So I thought if I was a little bit uncomfortable, right, that it would help me wake up. So there's all sorts of things. I'm sure you guys do these things as well. Please do share with me what kind of things you do, what your tips are, what you can do to try and help yourself get up earlier, do more ibadah, inshallah. Now, one of the things that really I struggle with every year is reading the Quran. And I think that maybe in the last 4 years is when I've really given myself some leeway on that, right? Because as long as you're reading as much as you can every day, okay, there's no hard, fast written rule, although most of us are brought up like that we must finish 1 Quran in Ramadan. If you're not finishing 1 Quran in the year, and then you're focusing on, oh, I've got to finish that one Quran in Ramadan, or 2 or 3, or mashallah, I know there's some sisters that tell me they've done 5 and 6, which is absolutely phenomenal, mashallah, right? Okay, but don't forget that if you can't do that, Allah is watching. Allah knows how much you're struggling for Him. Allah knows. And I would say personally that I can manage one a day, one juz a day, but then those 4 or 5 days I just like fall right behind, and then I really struggle trying to catch up to do the rest. But as long as you do it, inshallah, even if it takes you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in Ramadan, which again, a lot of us are brought up with that view that it must be done, and it's like, it turns out to be like fard that you have to do it, but it isn't, is it? Right? It's all extra ibadah, all extra things that you can do. And if you can, it's absolutely wonderful. We will be sharing in the group the strategies, which are so again, this is a new thing for me, which for my exercise, which I do with Coach Yusra, I fit it into my day, right? So I'm going about my daily life, and if I see an opportunity to do some exercise, I'll do it. So if I'm waiting for my kids outside for the bus, I'll be going up and down the steps. If I'm in the kitchen, I'll try to do the other day we were trying to reach up and touch the ceiling in the kitchen, just random jumps, and then the whole family got involved. It's all interesting. It just something that you can fit into different parts of your day. And what I found easy a lot of the time is doing a lot of zikr, because you can just do that easily on your hands. You don't need to have anything with you. You don't need any books with you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you just add it in. And what the beauty of that is, subhanAllah, that sometimes if you fall asleep while making zikr, your heart continues making that zikr. I don't know if any of you realize, but when you're sleeping, you'll be reciting, and it's just such an amazing feeling, inshallah, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps you. So if you walk to Him, He runs to you, right? He flies towards you like no one ever has done before. So all you need to do is make that intention. I'm going to do this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's it. Not for my family, for my kids, for anything. These things are going to help me in my akhirah. And you have to be somewhat selfish, which is where I'm going to come to next. Okay, so one of the things that a lot of moms struggle with is the invites, right? You get invited, okay? There's an iftar here, there's a dinner there, or your in-laws are doing a dinner for the whole world and their crew, and you've got to be there because you're their daughter-in-law, and you've got to be there whilst they do that. Right? Okay. Now, this is where our inner tribe work comes in again, Aini, doesn't it? With boundaries. Yeah. Okay. It's very, very tempting to be like, oh, I don't see these people throughout the year. But in Ramadan, we have a really wonderful iftar. Why don't you see people throughout the year? Why don't they make effort to meet each other outside of the year? And then all of a sudden in Ramadan, they've just got to do the biggest, most amazing iftar ever to kind of, this is what we're doing. There's no need for it, right? Okay, what you can do is what you're able to do. So personally, again, I put aside 4 Fridays, and these are the 4 Fridays that I might accept an invitation, like once a week, and that's it. The reason it's Fridays because it's a holiday here, and that is when most of us connect. But if people are saying, oh, you got to come on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no, sorry, I'm working, I have kids, my husband's at work, there's no chance for me to do anything through the week. So you've got to put those boundaries. Now, again, we're going to have holidays. Everyone's going to be like, oh, it's holiday, let's do this, let's do that. And of course, whatever you're comfortable with, but feel comfortable with, I'm sorry, that's not going to work for us today. I would love to come out with you, but it's going to affect your Ramadan, right? So you want to go out, you want to have that Ramadan, but you also need to be able to say, you know what, guys, I'm sorry, but we can't come because of XYZ. You don't even have to say XYZ reason. You can just say, I'm sorry, we can't come. That's a full sentence. I'm sorry, we can't come. End of story, right? What I want to say about the children, Okay, so we have planned for you an amazing Ramadan camp. I've been working on it super hard. Again, a lot of you that have tried to contact me this week will probably know, because I haven't replied to anybody. I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone about it. But inshallah, we're going to have a Ramadan camp for you. And that is because, again, we all go with, right, I'm going to download this. I did this last year and I shared it with all of you. I shared with you all my Google Drive that I've downloaded so many different PDFs that were shared for free during Ramadan. There were coloring books, there was journals, there was reflections, there was namaz countdowns and calendars and all sorts, right? Okay, but then I realized that I can't do all of these things, and neither can my kids keep up with all of the ones that I'm giving them. So I ended up just going back to one journal, which actually I'm going to share with everyone who signs up for the Ramadan camp, inshallah, which was written by Coach Iram. And it's just got simple activities that you can do. And you don't even, for some of them, you don't even need pen and paper, but some of them you do. But we did it as a family, and it really helped us bond as a family together. And I remember I had a teacher come over. I say teacher because we're all our friends are teachers, by the way. And eat with us. And then my girls were like, "Oh, what are we doing after Ramadan, after iftar?" And I said, "What do you guys want to do? Do you want to do a quiz? Do you want to do whatever?" And she was like, "What? You don't just sit and talk to each other, or you don't just..." And I was like, "Oh, well, I want them to be interested, and we learn a lot, and etc." And at the end of the evening, she actually was like, "Oh, wow, that was really fun, actually. I had a nice, fun time." And I said, "Look, it's all about bonding with the kids. It's all about talking to them. It's all about encouraging them, because we want them to want to fast. We don't want them to fast because otherwise I'm going to beat you up. We don't want them to fast because you're going to go to hell if you don't fast. We want that fasting to come from within them." So we've decided that our Ramadan camp is going to be all about encouragement, about being dedicated to our faith, about helping the kids feel empowered with knowledge. So when someone says something to them like, "Oh, how can you believe in God?" or whatever, they've got some clear, concise answers that they can reply with. So they are going to be secure in their Muslim identity, in their identity as a Muslim. And inshallah, if they meet with us, so we've got 6 sessions. They are on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to skip Wednesday, and then it's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And each session is going to be for a different age group of children. We're going to be sharing with you stories for the age 3 to 5, and in English and Arabic. We're going to have from age 5 to 10 more stories that are also going to be in English and Arabic, plus some Quran in there, inshallah. And then we're going to have age 10 and above. They're going to be learning the miracles of the Quran. And I've chosen topics that actually come within the Key Stage 3 syllabus. So if the students are at school later on, they could actually share that with the other kids in their class, especially the Muslims, to help them, encourage them, and remind them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in charge of us all, right? So we have all of that planned for you, and we've got the free ebook from Iram, inshallah. We also have another journal that's coming out that is a reflective journal, and that's it. Right, so we're just trying to streamline it all for you, trying to make it really easy for all of you, trying to make it simple as possible so that you can all have the most easiest Ramadan ever. That's my goal this year, to help all of you have the easiest Ramadan ever. Okay, so another thing that you could do before Ramadan, and we've talked about this before as well, is start fasting now. Just here and there, just practice a little bit, start fasting, start reminding yourself that it's okay. Yes, I'm going to be fasting. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be cranky. My husband's going to be cranky. The kids might be cranky as well. Okay, so we need to find a way that we can cope with it. And a lot of people that hang out with us, they do say things like, "We like the way you guys cope with everything with humor, because the thing is, if we don't go for the humorous side, we're going to go for the angry side, right? So we need to understand. My husband came home on Monday and he was in the car, and normally I go to pick them up and then I go round and grab my little bits and bobs if I need something for the dinner that day, and then I come back. And he said, no, take me home, take me home. And I said, all right, calm down, mate. What's wrong with you? And the kids were like, oh, Mom, he had extracurricular today. So, he's in a bad mood after this. So the thing is, if you realize why you're in a bad mood, you'll be able to handle it better. If you're just going to sit there and be in the bad mood and not worry about why you're in a bad mood and so on, no one's saying that you're going to be perfect. No one's going to be happy, right, that you're in a good mood the whole time, right? So if you are in a bad mood, then you need to understand why. So get that rest in, right? At iftar time, drink loads of water. Try to eat food. No one feels like eating at suhoor time. I'm not going to lie. It's just, sometimes it just feels like, why am I eating, right? But we've got to do it so that we don't get to that level of tiredness, crankiness, and so on. The caffeine is a huge thing for me. I don't know about you guys, but do we have lots of tea and coffee drinkers here? I think we do, right? Okay, so the caffeine, to me, I feel like, oh my God, I'm going to have real withdrawal symptoms. So I take a good month, which is now, to try to reduce my caffeine intake. So where I might have 2 or 3 cups of tea a day, I'll switch it down to 1, which is the morning one usually, so that I can cope with Ramadan and not feel that caffeine withdrawal. I used to have a lot of coffee, by the way, but for some reason over the last year or so, I've reduced my coffee intake. A bit weird, but anyway. I spoke earlier about the Quran and reading the Quran, right? So one of the best ways that I found with the kids to read the Quran and really get them to connect is by doing it together. So find a time that works for you. We've said this before as well. Always look for a time where everyone's kind of relaxed. So you could do it just before iftar or just after suhoor. They seem to be the best times for us. Or later at night when they've eaten and they're just, half an hour before they go to bed. For us, that doesn't really work well because they're just going to fall asleep at that point. But it might work for some people, and just give yourselves time as a family. And then that gives you accountability. It gives you that feeling of being together in Ramadan. It gives you the feeling of contentment that everyone's doing the same thing, right? And there will be times when your teenage girls, for example, might not be able to read with everyone. I know some people wear gloves and they touch the mushaf, but you can also use things like YouTube and have it on so that if anyone's not praying, they can still continue and pray with you, read with you, with the YouTube, on the television or something like that, right? So working on that. Try to think to yourself now, who do I want to surround myself with this Ramadan? So again, going back to my experiences, one of the best Ramadans, 1, 2, 3 actually, or 4 of the best Ramadans that we had. I feel like it's 3 or 4, but I can't remember. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a long time now. So we had these Ramadans where we did something called Deen Club, and we got together, a few of us friends, with our kids, and we did iftar together. That's the Fridays that I was talking to you about before. We did activities with the kids. One of us did Sara, one of us did fiqh, and one of us did Quran. And then we would take each group of kids and do like a little round robin kind of thing. The person moves to each group. And we actually had 2 groups. I'm saying 3, but it wasn't. We had 2 groups, and then we had a break as well. So we even had that break slotted in. So we had 1 session off out of the 20 minutes, which was lovely as well. So look for someone that can do that with you if they can. If they can't, that's absolutely fine. You're going to be in the Ramadan camp anyway, inshallah, hopefully. And we're going to support you in that. We're going to support you for those 20, 30 or 40 minutes a day, however long it is with your children. You can just sit and be hands-free and let them do something, but you know that it's going to be useful for them. You know that inshallah it's going to be something that is going to help them in the future, inshallah. And you can be like, sit back and satisfied that they're doing something that's good, and you can take that little break and relax, because that's what I would like for someone to do that for me. And that's why I gathered these teachers together and I said, come on, please do this. So I'm going to do it twice. But for 4 of those days, I'm going to be just with you guys, sitting in the background and letting my children learn, inshallah, in the company of other children that are all have parents who've got the same goals, which is to, inshallah, live our life in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I feel like I've been doing a really long monologue. There's not been any comments since I last spoke. Aini, Saima, if you have any comments, Shariza, please do comment. I think everyone's just gone really quiet now. So please do message me, let me know what you think. And if you need any tips on decorating your house, so there's loads of decorations now out there. But for a very long time, I didn't want to spend any money on that. So what I've noticed now is either you spend money or you spend time. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do and how you want to get ready for Ramadan. I think for me and my family, I do like having a Ramadan banner. I do like having a nice fresh tablecloth. And what I did about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I randomly came across these beautiful Ramadan plates. They actually say Ramadan Kareem on them. And then I left those in Dubai, because I thought, oh, they might break on the way and then I don't want them to. So I left them there, but I do really miss them. So I bought some the other day which kind of look like henna patterns, but maybe I'll share them in the WhatsApp group for you guys to have a look at, inshallah. Oh, mashallah, she said everything that I said is touching issues. Worried about the chai? Yep, the chai, the tea, the water intake, and definitely up your vitamins. Yeah, definitely. Get that vitamin D. Mine are normally here somewhere, so I don't forget them. Get that vitamin D in, vitamin C, right? Because these are the things that are really going to help you. And then this is what I want to help you, sisters, with. Not enough time. Right? What's important? Think about what's important for you, sis. What's important in terms of like the stuff that you must do, the stuff that you want to do, and the stuff that you'd like to do, but if you have time and energy, right? Oh, this is Simon. I'm trying to work out who it is. I know it's Simon now. She said it's the first time in years I've got to go out daily for taking the kids to school, right? That's absolutely true. So what we need to do now is we need to think of a strategy that you can do to help you with managing to stay on your routine, right? Last year, my little one was in reception and she had school for, I think, 2.5 hours a day. And I just thought, forget it. I'm not even going to bother with it. Forget that. It is tough. And we just do what we can. That's it. Perfect, right? Trying to stay on top of Quran, you can actually start now. And inshallah, you can continue within Ramadan and then beyond Ramadan, because the idea of reading the Quran is to continue reading it. Like every time you finish, we start again, right? That's the whole idea of Quran. So there's no worries about, oh, it must be done in 30 days. Because again, that's what I'm saying. Culturally, that's how I was brought up. And I used to feel super guilty, especially in the first early days, first few Ramadans that I had. With kids and babies and trying to keep up with it and feeling so bad about not being able to. No, sis, it's all right, inshallah. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you're doing your best. He knows. There's nobody else in the entire universe that knows that you're doing your best except Allah. He's there for us all the time. Nobody else is there, right? No one else is there like that. No one else knows what's in our heart. So giving time to the kids, this is what I I think I do a lot of this because I really want my children to like love Ramadan, and I want them to look forward to Ramadan. And I've noticed that they sometimes look so much forward to Ramadan that I'm like, please stop. So it's lovely, mashallah. They ask me, you know, as soon as Eid's over, how many days till next Eid? Or sometimes, because especially if they want to think about their Eid gifts or something like that. And they change their ideas like 20 times a day. So now they know Ramadan is getting closer. So we have a picture. It was lying around here before, they were playing with it, and it says how many days left of Ramadan, but they've switched the wording to how many days till Ramadan. So they did 25, I think it was 24 the other day. And then they're counting down to Ramadan, and now they're going to count down in Ramadan, subhanallah. We've got 4 different crafts that we're going to do with you guys, with your children. So one is all about the phases of the moon. So they're going to actually learn about the phases of the moon and do the craft at the same time. We've also got a basically it's like a namaz chart, but it's like little doors that they open if they've prayed that namaz. So it's just like a record of did you pray or not, kind of a thing. We've also got a little tick box that they're gonna do, inshallah. Well, actually that one's for you guys in your journal. What was the other 2? There's 2 more. Oh yeah, the other one is the hadith paper chain. So I saw that on YouTube once, and I saved the link for that one. So it's basically a PDF with it's for everyone's age group, I need for all the kids, yeah. So it's a PDF, and it's basically strips of different hadith. And then when I did it, I printed out each section on a different colored paper. Then I cut them out, and then we made a paper chain. And then each day you open one of the paper chains, and then you remind them of the hadith. One of my friends, so when I was back in the day when I used to have time, and I sewed calendars for me and my friends. So I think I did about 6 that year, and I sewed the calendar and I made the pockets, and then they would put sweets inside for iftar. And on the front we had pictures, and we put the day, like day 1, day 2, day 3. And then I put the same hadith, I folded them up and I put them in there, and I put a good deed of the day. That's the last thing. The good deed tree is the last craft that we've got, inshallah, to share with you all. And then I put the good deed of the day, the hadith and sweets inside the calendar. But then I switched it the next year to put the hadith in the paper chain. And the good deed of the day is now a set of social media posts that I'm going to share on WhatsApp, inshallah. So there's a lot going on. And the thing is, I think that before I used to really worry about the kids and making sure they love Ramadan. But now I feel like my job on that side is done. Now I feel like I'm going to move more into the spirituality of Ramadan, especially as my kids are getting older now and they're getting into their teenage years. I've got to focus more on the spirituality and making sure that they're, you know, doing as much as they can, because from experience, you all know when you're in your mum and dad's house, that's when you do the most, right? That's when you're able to do the most. As soon as they're going to grow up, get married, have jobs, it's going to be a lot harder for them. So this is the time that we're going to set those routines, inshallah. Yeah. So I hope that everyone feels less worried now, inshallah, and the fact that you don't have to do all the things in Ramadan. You don't have to attend every dars, every Zoom meeting, every spirituality reminder. You don't have to do all of it. Think about it and be conscious of what you are doing, and give yourself the opportunity to really reflect and decide on what you can do easily, right? And the thing is, if you can do it easily, you're going to continue doing it. But if it's something difficult that you have to add into your routine, you're going to find it harder. And then when you can't do it, you're going to feel guilty because you haven't been able to do it. And that is one of the reasons why I haven't lost weight until I met Coach Yusra, right? That's one of the reasons why I lacked in confidence till I met Coach Farida. It's one of the reasons that I had issues with behavior with my kids until I met Coach Iram. So subhanallah, until these sisters started sharing their ideas with me and their strategies, and that's why I was like, right, everyone, let's get together. I'm a teacher. I teach lessons. I teach, I do a lot of tuition. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I teach everyone from the age of 11 upwards, right? So in terms of parent coaching, I can only share with you what I've done with my own kids. But all of these coaches have studied different methods, they've studied different techniques, they've gone really deep dive into psychology, psychotherapy, the NLP training, a lot of them have done. So it really helps them to focus in on and help you all through specific problems or specific issues. And I know that Aini and Saima, you guys have been doing this work in the inner crowd, where we've been working on our inner selves, and working on our inner selves has helped us to become better on our outer selves, right? On our outer selves. I feel like that. I feel like I think I watched my Connecting with the Kids in Ramadan the other day, and I thought, oh God, I think maybe I would do it differently this year. Do you know what I mean? One thing that I didn't mention today actually is the basket, but I've used my basket for a lot of mess over there right now. But if you just take a basket and you add some Ramadan books in there, if you add put little dustbin, put little prayer outfits, and just keep it all together in a box, it's really accessible for the kids, and they can just pick it up and they can do that instead of what they would normally do. Right. One thing that my mum and dad really insisted on was no TV in Ramadan. And I'm really grateful for that, because again, nowadays it would be like no digital devices in Ramadan, right? But it really, again, that distraction was away. It was like no one even tried to put the TV on, which is amazing, right? Back in the day when we used to have to watch Neighbours every day. So again, these things are strategies that you can put into place for you and your family and for your children. And inshallah, whatever works will make sure that you have the best Ramadan ever. And that's what we want. And we want to support you, inshallah. The last thing that I'm going to mention, because I've put loads of links down there, so please have a look. Actually, there's two last things I'm going to mention. Please have a look down there. Because you can join our WhatsApp groups, our chats for the different parenting groups. If you live in Qatar, get in touch with me, because next week, inshallah, we're going to do a in-person retreat on Thursday, inshallah. It's planned for, and we're going to go through the parenting lessons in Surah Yusuf, inshallah. That'll be next Thursday. So if you're around, please do join us for that one. We also are going to do a little Ramadan Souq. So if you're looking for gifts for your family, if you're looking for the calendars that I've been mentioning, the little crafts that they can do, like kits where they've got all the different bits and bobs to do the different crafts. If you want kits for that, that'll be there. If you want to buy new abayas or new prayer outfits, they'll be there, inshallah. And every Tuesday in the Facebook group, they'll be allowed to share their posts. So all of you can come, inshallah, support them, like them. And we're going to be giving away prizes as well on those days to join in our inner circle, which I'm just going to finish with that. So we have the inner tribe, which is a group, and we're going to reopen the enrollment for that now in Ramadan, because we've got 8 sessions this Ramadan, which are going to be held over Zoom, which are going to be working through the another journal that Iram has written. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. She's done such an amazing job. So the second journal that we've got is full of quotes and from Quran, from Hadith, and from Shayukh and speakers that are all about how different surahs can help you parent better, right? So we've got all of that connected together, and then it's basically another journal that we're going to work through. But again, that's through the Ramadan, inshallah. So we'll be doing that with everyone who's in the inner tribe. So again, if you look down below, you can join the inner tribe. The link is at the bottom, and you'll be invited to those Zoom sessions. We also have a Zoom session today, don't we, Annie, at 9 o'clock, inshallah. And Zima, I think you guys are still there. Have you got bored? They've disappeared now. And we get to spend time with each other, and literally we found our tribe, we found each other, we found that we're all struggling with the same things. And when you know that, you all of a sudden have that burden lifted from you. And that's why it's really important that we all help and support each other within the tribe. So whether you're part of the inner tribe and you're working on yourself to help you parent better, to help you be more present, to help you feel less overwhelmed with all the things that we've just clarified now. You do not have to do all the things. You just have to do your best. And if you do your best, you be aware of what you're doing, inshallah, you're going to have the most amazing Ramadan ever. I really hope and pray that, inshallah, it is a wonderful Ramadan. Sister S shared with me a beautiful sentiment the other day about the fact that we've just got to make dua, first of all, that we reach Ramadan. That we reach Ramadan, inshallah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings us closer to Him through Ramadan, through all of the activities that we do, that we can, inshallah, keep on doing those activities after Ramadan. That is super important. And for those of us, again, that are in the supported group, that we're going to support you, and the inner tribe, inshallah, all of us are going to do another course straight after Ramadan on how to become an angel magnet. So that means that you're going to continue the hard work that you've done in Ramadan, the routines that you've put in place, the fact that you prioritized Quran over other things, you prioritized your prayers over other things, because we do that because Shaitan's locked up. But as soon as he comes out, he starts distracting us with other things that we need to do, right? So we need to keep him locked up and away from us and attract all the angels towards us, inshallah. And that's what we're going to do straight after Ramadan together, inshallah, right? And inshallah, I really, really, really hope and pray that Ramadan comes for everybody. It comes with lots of blessings and barakah. And inshallah, you all have a wonderful Ramadan. There is still around 10... How many days left is there? About 14 now. Are we on? Yeah. MashaAllah. Wow. I didn't realize. Right. So there's still time to get all of the bits and bobs that you want ready for Ramadan. And I've just remembered that I completely didn't even talk about this, because food is a huge thing for us in Ramadan. Don't know if it is for anyone else. So I have got pictures that I'm going to share in the group now, but to be honest with you, I always take these pictures and I think it just does not look nice at all. I think I've done it a few times, and I've actually taken pictures. Sorry, I've done it loads of times, but I've taken pictures a few times and I've never shared them because I just don't think they look nice. But then I remembered that I've got to just be real and just say it doesn't look that nice, but here it all is. So if you're from a South Asian background like myself and you need to make curry or rice pretty much every day, then I've got a really easy way of doing that. Right, so exactly, start the groceries now, grab your onions, your ginger, your garlic, tons of it, as much as possible, really, because I always do it and then I end up thinking, oh, I should have bought some more, because when you get into the groove of it, it actually works out really well. So what I've done is I take all of these things and I separate them, peel it all, chop it all, put it all together, blend it, and then I pop it in a freezer bag. Then in the morning of the day, you pull out whatever meat you want from the freezer and you pull out one of these bags. If it's vegetables you're cooking that day, then obviously you don't need to pull them out from anywhere, but you just pull out the bag so that when it's time to cook, you literally chuck your oil in, chuck that in, and within 15 minutes vegetables are cooked, and within 35 minutes your meat is cooked. And it's the fastest way that I found to get the food ready for iftar. The other side of iftar is that people do a lot of side dishes, they do a lot of fried food, they do a lot of like snacks and things like that, which is lovely. And I've got into that mode as well at some times. But nowadays, just look around and you'll see there's people that are making them for you. There's people that are selling them in grocery stores. There's people that are like, we don't need to have fried food in Ramadan as well, right? Okay. Intake your as much fruit and veg as you possibly can. So if you would see my house in Ramadan, it's got more fruit and veg, exactly because of what Simon said earlier about getting those vitamins and antioxidants in there, and basically getting you as nutritious full food as possible. And we were talking actually in the meeting for the Ramadan camp about how the raw food keeps as many nutrients in as possible. And one of the Ramadans, I haven't done it for any since that, but I do remember one particular Ramadan that I made smoothies every morning, and they were beautiful. You can put dates, banana, orange, carrot, and all of these beautiful fresh fruit and veg in there. Put kale in there, you can put spinach in there, and it literally, because you blend it, it liquidizes, and it's like so much more easier for your body to digest as well. So your body doesn't take as much energy in digesting it, and it just helps you feel really wholesome and full as well, and you don't feel hungry and you don't feel worried. You can add like a scoop of chia seeds, you can add a scoop of protein powder, you can add other stuff to bulk it up a little bit as well, but it'll be amazing, inshallah, if you can do that. Soup is such a easy thing to make and so excellent, full of nutrients, right? So just get that soup on. In our house, we love the harira soup, the Moroccan one, and it's just so wholesome. So look at one of the recipes. If you haven't found one, then I'll find you one, inshallah, because I used to have one written out on my phone and it's disappeared for a long time. Yeah, my friends moved back to the UK and we've kind of lost touch. But inshallah, if I can find it again, I'll definitely share it with everybody. So I hope that everyone has enjoyed today's live. I feel like it's a bit of a monologue, so apologize if I'm just going blah, 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 blah. Inshallah, you've all got at least one or two things from it, and if you haven't got anything from it, please forgive me. But number one thing that I want to share with everyone is that you don't have to do all the things in Ramadan. And as long as you tell yourself that, and as long as you have your boundaries and you're strict with them, inshallah, you're going to have the most wonderful Ramadan ever. I'm just going to finish off, but I think Simon just said that I can't get my home organized and cleaned as I wanted beforehand. It's all right. It doesn't matter, right? The only thing that you have to do is not worry about it, right? Because I think I've said this to some people before as well. My mum used to never leave the house until the dishes were washed, until, she'd defrosted the food for later, she'd planned, she'd done, like, there was like a routine of things that she had to do, which I've now forgotten. Obviously it's been a few years now since I lived there, but there was like all these little bits that she had to do before she left the house, because she wanted to come back from wherever she was going and feel like, oh, I've just got to do this now and then that's it, I can relax. And that's absolutely fine, because that worked for her. For me, I would much rather get out and do whatever I have to do and then come back and then slowly do all the little bits and bobs at home. So just figure out what you prefer. Yeah. Okay, so if that feels like it's going to save time and be more productive, that's absolutely fine. What I don't like is being late somewhere because I've been busy doing bits and bobs at home, if that makes sense, right? I would rather go out, do my thing, and then come back again. while you're out there, look out for convenient foods. So look out for things like ready-made pizzas. In the UK, may Allah bless my grandfather, Allah yarhamah, he used to never eat anything from outside, like never, ever, ever. But when he was in masjid and we had to give iftar to him, I forgot what it's called now. What's it called at the end of Ramadan? Itikaf, right? And me and my brother had to go and give him the food. And I was at home, my mum was at work, so I wouldn't make roti for him, obviously, at iftar time. So I would fry him fritters, which they don't sell anymore. But mashallah, he used to love them. If I have some food like that you can just quickly fry and eat, it just reminds me of him. And again, these are the memories that your kids are going to come back to over and over again. Are they going to care that, like that the food was perfect, or are they going to care that you were with them? These are the kind of things that you've got to come back to. Yeah. So those fritters, fish fingers, easy stuff that you can do. And don't forget the little kids that are not fasting as well, right? We can't forget about those kids as well. So have stuff on hand that you can just quickly get ready for them. So here in this country, they do chicken strips that are ready made in boxes. You can buy them. They've also got ready-made beef burgers that my kids like, Angus beef or whatever it is. And it's just something that you've got on hand that doesn't take long to do, and it's filling for them. They enjoy it because who doesn't love having burgers all the time? And it doesn't take too much energy from you, because you don't want to be doing a meal for them, a meal for yourself later, a meal for, do you know what I mean? Like over and over again. So these are the things that you might have to put in place. And like I said about the tidying up, as long as you can maybe cover up something and, out of sight, out of mind, and not worry about it, that's fine. Otherwise, just pull out one drawer at a time, one box at a time, one place at a time, and just do as much as you can. And that's it. That's all you can do. Remember, we're not angels, we're human, right? We can't do more than we can do. Does that make sense, sisters? Yeah? Okay, we can't do more than we can do. So all we can do is do our best. And if that means that our house is going to be not perfect, who are we trying to please with the perfect house, right? The perfect house might please your husband, maybe, and maybe your kids. They won't care if it's a perfect house. I can guarantee that pretty much, right? You're probably looking to please the people that are coming to your house because you don't want them to see the mess in your house, but that's not pleasing Allah, right? Yes, we must be clean and tidy, and cleanliness is part of our deen. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about like the perfection, like it must be in a certain way. Just to finish off, and I know I've been trying to finish off, subhanallah, for the last 10 minutes, but I hope you mean you're right, Simon. Yeah, so I've been trying to finish off in the last 10 minutes, but I'll just finish off with this last thing. Whereas I've made, mashallah, a few friends now because I've been here for a while, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. And one of them just wanted to pop in. And I said, yeah, come in. And I was in my pajamas still. And I had my laptop out. I was doing my work on the side. And I've probably got, a couple of bits and bobs here and there around the room. It wasn't like messy, but it wasn't pristine either. And then my daughter came down. My friend came in, she spoke. We spent about, say, 20, 30 minutes. We just had something to do really fast. And then she went out again. And my daughter went, oh my goodness, did you let her come into this house like that? And I was like, it's absolutely fine. What's wrong with it? She's moving things and clearing it up. And I said to her, listen, we don't worry about that. At the end of the day, if my friend wants to judge me, first of all, she's not as much of a friend that I thought, which is helpful to know. And secondly, I don't need to please her. I don't need this to be done for her. if it was to clean it for myself or whatever, like I'm not saying I live in a messy place, alhamdulillah, it's okay most of the time. But my point is that, a bit of mess, a bit of lived in look. I think I like that word, lived in look. If your house looked lived in, that's normal because people live there. They're not supposed to look like show houses, right? When people sell houses, I think everyone knows that I watch a lot of real estate shows, right? When people sell houses, they say to them, declutter, get all of your stuff out that makes it your house, take it all out, and we're going to stage your house. We're going to make your house look better than when you were living in it, right? And why do they do that? So that someone can come in now and they can imagine themselves in that space. And that's what a show home is. And that's why it's so perfect. But for us, in our daily life, we don't need it to be perfect, right, sisters? Yeah. So don't worry, just keep up with your chores. Make sure kids have jobs to do. Don't forget their jobs. They've got jobs to do. Iftar time is an amazing time to give kids jobs because, they're all already feeling a bit peckish and a bit hungry, and you want to like keep them busy and keep their mind off food, obviously. But my Zachariah, mashallah, is, how old is he now? Forget, 13? Yeah, 13. And he'll always come down and say, Mum, can I cook? And whatever I'm doing, I'll just let him take over. Yes, I've got more experience than him and so on. But at the end of the day, this is how the kids learn. I don't say to him, oh, you must cook every day. But I'd say 3 times out of 4, if I'm cooking, he'll be downstairs. My other one, Aisha, loves baking. So again, she'll be downstairs baking. There's things that you can just encourage with them, inshallah. Hey, Anjum's here. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, she said, I don't live in a showroom house. Exactly. We don't live in a showroom. We live, nice and clean and tidy as much as possible. But if you've got things that you need every day, they're there. That's it. End of story. All right, sisters. It's been absolutely wonderful. Anjum, I hope you'll catch up on the replay, inshallah. And I hope that everyone else catches up on the replay. #replay. Let me know if you've enjoyed today's live. I do feel like it's a bit of a monologue. I normally have at least 1 or 2 people here. I don't know if you noticed in the email I wrote and guest today because I wasn't sure who was going to come. So mashallah. They were busy. So it's fantastic to have all of you here, inshallah. And I'm going to see you guys in the inner tribe later on tonight. That'll be our accountability session today. And if you are thinking about joining, please do join us. Enjoy Ramadan with us. And then you can totally leave if you find that it's not for you. But I'm pretty sure that you're going to love it and you're going to enjoy it. So come in and join us, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, sisters. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to meeting up with you the week after next, because next week I'll be with my Qatar fam, inshallah. Can't wait to meet all of you, sisters in Qatar, and the ones of you that are inshallah coming next week. And if you would like to join us and you don't know about it, just let me know. I'm going to show that message now because Anjum just said the inner tribe is fantastic. Yay. I don't know if anyone ever has a look at the website, but most of my reviews are comments by Anjum. Oh, I like this one. Thank you. Is that Saima? So helpful and inspiring. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, sisters. And salam and dua, lots of love. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.